Hello students of class 11. Welcome back once again to your biology class. Last day we have completed the chapter of animal kingdom. So today we will start a new chapter, that is the morphology of flowering plants. In this chapter, this time we have to learn only about the inflorescence and the flower. Apart from that, whatever else are there in the chapter, it has been deleted by the CBSE for this year. So we will learn only about the inflorescence and the flower portion. So diverse forms of plants are there and they are widely adapted to their habitat in which they live. Their mode of nutrition is also different, and two main parts of a flowering plant, one is the root system is there, another is the shoot system. What do you mean by morphology? Because the name of our chapter is with this term. So what is morphology? Basically morphology is the study of the external form of any organism. Okay, so you have to know about the external form of the organism, that is the morphology. So root system, this is the underground portion, and shoot system is the portion of the plant which is above the ground. So we will start from the inflorescence portion first. What is inflorescence? This is the first thing you have to know. An axis bearing flowers in a particular fashion is called inflorescence. Now flowers can be arranged in different manner in a plant. All the plants does not show the arrangement of flowers in the same order. It is different for different plants. So that particular way of arranging or particular way of arrangement of the flowers in the axis of a plant is known as inflorescence. And the apex will produce various floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of the leaves. And when the shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is solitary. So basically, three types of inflorescence are found. One is racemose inflorescence, second is the cymose inflorescence, third is the mixed or special type of inflorescence. So first we will know what is racemose inflorescence and what is cymose inflorescence. In racemose inflorescence, the terminal bud will continue to grow. The main axis will have an indeterminate growth. Okay, and the flowers in these racemose type of inflorescence will be arranged in acropetal succession. Acropetal succession means the older flowers will be towards the base and the younger flowers will be towards the apex. And the opening of the flower will be centripetal. You are getting new terms here. Remember what are these? These terms you will need throughout the chapter. The opening of the flower in racemose inflorescence will be in centripetal order. Centripetal order means outer or the basal flowers will open first and the central or the upper flowers will open later. Okay, and cymose inflorescence, in that case the terminal bud will become a flower and the main axis will have determinate growth and the flowers will be arranged in basipetal succession. That is, the basipetal succession means the older flowers will be at the apex and the younger flowers will be at the base. And in point of flower opening. In racemose you have seen the flower opening will be in order of centripetal succession, but in cymos the flower opening will be centrifugal. Centrifugal means the central or the upper flowers will open first and the outer or basal flowers will open later. Understood? So basically types of inflorescence, it has different categories. First is raceme, panicle, spike, catkin, spadix. These are the different types of racemose inflorescence. And cymose inflorescence also, it has different types of uh, ways, or different types of cymose inflorescence are present, which is known as monochasial cyme, or you can say dichasial cyme, polychasial cyme. And mixed or special type of inflorescence will show certain features like racemose and certain features like cymose. It will be a mixed type. Okay, that you can give type will be hypanthodium, cyathium. These are the different types of inflorescence. Now we will know a flower. What is a flower? The flower is the reproductive unit in angiosperm, and it is a modified shoot with much condensed internode and a number of floral leaves at every node. That's a flower. You know, many things about flower you have learnt about flower. You have drawn the diagram of the flower in the previous classes. Now here also you have to draw and label the parts of a flower. The stalk of the flower is called pedicel, and the flower with a pedicel is called pedicellate flower, and the flower without a pedicel is called as sessile. So you have to understand all the parts of a flower. And the floral leaves you can see are arranged in holes on the swollen edge of the pedicel or axis. This is known as the thalamus. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Basically these are the essential four holes of a flower. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, now in some flowers the calyx and the corolla can't be found distinct, and it is termed as perianth. And a flower when it has both androecium and gynoecium, that type of flower is known as bisexual. And when a flower is having either only the androecium or only the gynoecium, that type of flower is known as unisexual flower. Based on the symmetry, the flower can be divided as actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric. Actinomorphic, when we say that flower is actinomorphic, you can see the divisions, it is shown very clearly: actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric. When can we say that the flower is actinomorphic? A flower is regular or actinomorphic, we can say, when it can be cut into two identical halves along any of the radii passing through the center. That is, the flower we can say as radially symmetrical. Second one, zygomorphic, when it can be cut into two identical halves only along the plane, only along one plane or radius passing through the center. Okay, and asymmetrical, when it cannot be cut into two identical halves along any plane, then that type of flower will be known as asymmetrical or asymmetric type of flower. Okay, next, actinomorphic. Actinomorphic, I said actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric. These are the examples. This is an example of zygomorphic. You can give some examples. I can give some examples of asymmetric from these pictures. Any two examples or one example also will do. You can remember. Okay. Next type of flower based on the number of floral appendages. Flowers can be divided into trimerous, tetramerous and pentamerous. When we say that the flower is trimerous, floral leaves when it will be in threes or multiples of three in each whole. Tri means three. So then we can say as trimerous flower. Tetramerous same type when it will be four. Floral leaves will be four in number or multiples of four in each whole. Then it will be known as tetramerous. Pentamerous 5. This is based on the number of floral appendages. How many floral appendages are there? Next, based on the position of calyx, corolla and androecium in respect of the ovary. Now, basically this is the type of flower with respect to the position of the gynoecium. Where is the gynoecium located? Based on that, depending on that, it can be divided into hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. What is hypogynous? When the ovary is situated on the torsus above all the other floral organs, that flower will be known as hypogynous. Here the ovary is superior. You can give an example of mustard, tomato. Perigynous, when the thalamus forms a cup-like structure around the ovary and bears the other floral organs almost at the same level as the ovary on the rim. That type of flower will be known as perigynous. The ovary here will be half superior or half inferior. We can say, example, rose pea. When the thalamus forms a cup which is fused with the ovary and all other floral organs arise on top of the ovary, that type of flower will be known as epigynous. Here the ovary is inferior. You can give an example of cucurbita, sunflower, etc. Okay, this is based on the type position of the gynoecium. Next, the flower. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. These four you know very well. You are very acquainted with this term. First is calyx. We will discuss in detail what is calyx. Calyx is the outermost whole of a flower and it is composed of sepals. The calyx may be polysepalous when the sepals are free, or it can be gamosepalous when the sepals are fused together. The sepals usually are green, leaf-like, and they protect the other floral organs in the bud condition. And you can see in the diagram the green portion of the flower. It's shown, that is the calyx. Next, corolla. Corolla is the second whorl in a dichlamydous flower and it is composed of petals. The corolla is usually very brightly colored and the corolla may be polypetalous or gamopetalous. Polypetalous means when the petals are free from one another, or that is not jointed, and gamopetalous is when the petals are united together. Corolla basically performs two functions. In the bud condition, it protects the essential organs of the flower, and also another function of the corolla is to attract the agents for performing the process of pollination. It can be of different shapes. Next is estivation. What is estivation? Estivation refers to the arrangement of the segments of perianth or calyx or corolla in relation to one another in the bud condition. Estivation can be of different types. It can be valvate, twisted, ascendingly imbricate, vexillary, or quincontial. You have to know basically these four types: valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. Sepals or the petals in a whole. You are discussing about the valvate type. Here what happens? The margins of the sepals or the petals or the tepals just touch one another, but there is no overlapping. Example, you can see, you can give so many examples are there. I have given an example of calotropis here. Next is twisted type. What happens? Here one margin, you can see in the diagram, one margin of each of the sepals or petals or tepals overlap the margin of the next member, and the other margin of it's overlapped by the margin of another segment. You can give an example of corolla of hibiscus. Next is imbricate type. It is characterized by the margins here of the sepals or the petals, they overlap one another, but here in not in any type of particular direction. The overlapping can be in any form. You can give an example of cassia, gulmohar. Next is vexillary. Here what happens? 5 petals are here, and the largest petal will overlap the other 2 lateral petals, and that 2 will again overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals, as it is seen in pea, bean, etc. Okay, this is vexillary type of estivation. Next we will discuss about the androecium. Androecium is the third whorl in a complete flower. It is formed of what? Stamens. It is one of the essential, or we can say reproductive whorl of a flower. The male reproductive whorl of a flower is the androecium. Each stamen has 2 parts. You can see in the diagram, a stalk-like filament and an anther. In general, the anther you can see from the picture is bilobed. Here we use the term dithecous, bilobed, same, and each lobe will enclose 2 microsporangia when young. They become fused into pollen sac at maturity. And if the stamen is sterile and does not produce pollen grain, then it will be known as staminode. Okay, that is a sterile stamen is known as staminode. And when we say that the stamen is epipetalous, when the stamens are attached to the petals, then they are known as epipetalous, and when the stamens are attached to the perianth, they are known as epiphyllous. Example, first one is the brinjal, or second one epiphyllous. We can give an example of lily. Next, polyandrous. What is this term? If the stamens are free from one another, that is, they are not joined, then the androecium will be known as polyandrous. Okay, and when it is known as synandrous, when the stamens are united. Okay, both the anthers and the filaments of all the stamens of the flower here will be fused from the base to the top to form a column-like structure. Then that type of stamen will be known as synandrous. Different types of synandrous are there: monadelphous, diadelphous, polydelphous. These details you don't need to know right now. There also may be variation in the length of the filament within the flower. You can see in different flowers the filaments are of different lengths. Okay, all the filaments of the anther, the size is not the same. It is of different types. Next we will discuss about gynoecium. The gynoecium is the innermost or the uppermost whorl of a complete flower. It is the female reproductive whole we all know, and it is composed of carpels. And each carpel is differentiated into three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. You can see in the picture. Stigma. What is the function of the stigma? The stigma, basically, it acts as the platform on which the pollen grains are lodged during the process of pollination, and its secretions stimulate the germination of the pollen grains. The style exposes the stigma for very easy pollination, and the style may vary positions in different types. Okay, and what is ovary? It is the enlarged basal part on which the style lies, and each ovary will bear one or more ovules which is attached to a flat cushion like placenta. Polycarpellary pistil means when a pistil will have many carpels, then they will be known as polycarpellary pistils. Now two types are there of polycarpellary pistil. One is apocarpus and another is the syncarpus. Now apocarpus, this concept is very easy. Apocarpus, when we say apocarpus, when the carpels are free, example you can see in the lotus and the rose. And syncarpus, when the carpels are fused together, as you can see mustard flower or tomato flower. You can, if you see the diagram, it will be more easier for you to understand. See how the diagram is made. Carpels are free, apocarpus, and next one syncarpus, the carpels are fused together. Next, placentation. Placentation. Placentation refers to the mode of arrangement of placenta and the ovules on them within the ovary. Placenta basically is the tissue on which the ovules are attached to the wall of the ovary. Different types of placentation are found. Here you have to learn only the marginal, axial, parietal, free central and basal type of placentation. Now placentation, you can see the first one, marginal. How it is? The placenta are found along the ventral suture. It is formed by the fusion of the margins of the carpel, and it is found in monocarpellary and unilocular ovary only. It is characteristically found in the members of the family Leguminosae like pea, bean, etc. Second type is axial placentation. It is found in syncarpus ovary. Here the number of the locules is as many as the carpels, and the margin of the carpels, they fuse together to form a central axis on which the placenta develop. You can give an example of citrus, hibiscus, etc. Next is parietal placentation. It is found in those syncarpus ovaries where the carpels are fused laterally and the ovary becomes one-chambered or unilocular ovary. The placenta will develop on the ovary wall, and the number of placenta will be equal to the number of carpels. Example, cucurbita. Next is free central placentation. It is found in unilocular ovary. Unilocular means one-chambered. A single large swollen placenta will arise from the base of the ovary, and it will bear a number of ovules all over the surface. Next, basal placentation. Where it is seen? It is also seen in unilocular ovary. Here a single placenta will arise from the base of the ovary and it will bear a single ovule. This is basically found in Asteraceae family like sunflower. Okay, now gynoecium, you understood, I think. Gynoecium is the innermost or the uppermost whole of a complete flower, I told you. After fertilization, the ovules will develop into seeds and the ovary will develop into the fruit. Now you have to know some technical description of a typical flowering plant. What are these? Some symbols you will see while forming the floral formula or the floral diagram. Some symbols will be used. You see the symbols. BR is bracteate, K for calyx, C is used for corolla, P for perianth, A for androecium, G for gynoecium, and G underlined for superior ovary. G, at the top of the G there is an underline, that's inferior ovary. Then male, female, bisexual, actinomorphic, zygomorphic, fusion, adhesion. Okay, this adhesion right now you don't need. Apart from that, all the other symbols is required. Some important families we need to discuss now. Although this time you have anyone, either Solanaceae or Liliaceae. So we will discuss these two families. Solanaceae, the kingdom will be Plantae, division Angiospermae, class will be Dicotyledone, and family will be Solanaceae, of course. Now, what is the habitat of these Solanaceae family? The plants will be generally herbs or shrubs with normal taproot system. Leaves will be simple, lobed, and they will show pinnately reticulate venation. Inflorescence will be cymose one. Flowers will be actinomorphic, bisexuals, hypogynous, pentamerous. Calyx will be having 5 sepals, gamosepalous. Corolla, 5 petals. Androecium will consist of 5 stamens, and ovary will be bicarpellary, syncarpous, and superior. How will be the fruit? The fruit will be berry type in brinjal and tomato, and drupe type in case of Branfelsia, and capsule in case of Datura. Okay, and floral formula you see here, it's given actinomorphic, bisexual, calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. And there is bracket you can see in case of calyx, corolla, and gynoecium. So this bracket will be meaning it is fused. Now, what is the economic importance? The economic importance of the Solanaceae is fruits of tomato, brinjal, capsicum. These are used as vegetable. The fruits of Solanum nigrum, they have medicinal value. Different leaves of this Solanaceae family yield for commercial purposes, and different flowers are used as ornamental plants, or the plants are of ornamental value. Okay, it's used for spices, medicine. You can see here 5 economic importance you have to remember. And along with that, you have to do one thing more. You have to draw the floral diagram also of both the family of Solanaceae or Liliaceae. Floral diagram is compulsory. You have to practice the floral diagram. You know all the terms: actinomorphic, bisexual, how calyx is written, how it is fused, how you will write when the ovary is superior or inferior. This all you have to mention. Okay. Next, Liliaceae. The family Liliaceae. Kingdom will be Plantae, division Angiospermae, class Monocotyledone, and family is of course Liliaceae. What will be the habitat of these? The plants will also be mostly herbs with perennating underground stem. Leaves will be simple and it will be reduced to spines in some cases. And inflorescence is racemose type. Flowers actinomorphic. Perianth, 6 tepals will be there. Androecium consists of 6 stamens. Ovaries tricarpellary in corpus. Fruit berry or capsule. And floral formula and floral diagram is must. You see floral formula it's given. So and here you have to write the floral formula and the floral diagram. And what is the economic importance? Bulbs of onion and garlic are used as spices. They have medicinal properties. Colchicine is obtained from corms and which is used for laboratory cultures. And many lilies are used for the as ornamental plants. Okay, so this all you have to know. Two families are here this time, Solanaceae and Liliaceae. The characteristics, economic importance, floral formula, floral diagram. This is all you have to know. So this is all about the chapter of morphology of flowering plants. This time only this much you have to read, only the inflorescence and the flower portion, and read well. So till this much today. Thank you.